I'm Salad and I saw Secret Sunshine. It is directed and written by Lee Chang-dong, and if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This movie starts when we're following a mother and her son, and it's very tragic. Where's the husband? This movie starts, we're following Lee Shanae and June. Lee Shanae is the mother of June, and they're moving to Miryang. This is fun. We get a nice introduction to these characters, what they're like. Lee Shanae seems like the type of person who just wants to do everything on her own. She's very lone wolf, I'd say. We have this mechanic man working on her car that broke down. Hey, do you need help? No. I need no help whatsoever. She gets into town and there's a man who offers to help her, offers to walk her out to the door. And I'm like, okay, please, just stop being so alone. She's like, no, I just want to be alone. I'm 100% alone. I only need my son, June. And I'm like, I guess. I mean, it's very tragic how your husband died. He died in a traffic accident, and so it's just you and June. But you gotta make some friends, man. She seems a little bit hostile towards a lot of the ladies. She goes to this particular store, and for example, this store seems a little bit gloomy. You need some color to brighten this place up because no customer just wants to go in here. And immediately, I like the tension between these two women. Shop owner lady is like, what are you doing? Telling me how to run my business? Or at least that's what I got out of her, just by her general vibe that she was giving, her looking. Lee Shanae is giving unsolicited advice. I'm like, that's the worst type of advice, is unsolicited advice. It would drive me crazy. I don't know if I would even follow her advice because it's like, who are you to even tell me how to run my shop? Who are you? But also, she's the customer, so customer is usually right. Give her a little bit of a listen, shop owner lady. That was my entire thought process during that scene. The first half hour of this movie establishes Lee Shanae and June's daily routine. June seems to be a nice, upstanding kid. He just wants to impress his mother, and his mother dearly loves him. And it's so beautiful. She comes home, she can't find him. She starts crying, and June just comes out of hiding. She was fake crying. She's like, oh gosh, I'm gonna get you. I'm like, oh, this is so sweet and cute. I wonder if this is going to parallel what's going to happen later in the movie. We got some happy moments in this movie. I'm like, okay, we got a half hour in, what's going to happen? She comes home after a long night of having fun with her girlfriends. Woo, yeah, woo, karaoke time. She got a call from June while at karaoke. He's like, I'm scared, please come home. She's like, I'll come home shortly. That was a lie. She goes home, doesn't find June. And I'm like, oh no, he's got napped. Oh no, another tragedy. She's all alone. She's got what she wanted. She wanted to be alone and now she's sad. And I'm like, no. Oh, this feels me I feel it in the gut. I feel it in the heart. I feel it all over my body. I'm like, man, this movie did such a good job establishing the happy times that they were having, establishing the status quo. When Lee Shanae is sad, it just makes me feel sad. I'm just like, I feel like this. I feel like this during the entire movie. The rest of the movie has a lot of somber undertones. I like the shift in the character's perception on the world. At the beginning, she's like, oh, feel the sunshine, June. Feel the sunshine. Miryang, it means secret sunshine in Chinese. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Okay. And then she's just so sad during the rest of the movie. I'm like, what happened to her spirit? Oh my goodness. We have this person who kidnapped June, asking for money. She gives that person all the money, a specific location. And then that person is like, we need more money. She breaks down. She gave all the money that she has. She called the police finally, talked to the police about this. And she's like sad because the police found June's body dead next to the river. I'm like, oh, she didn't give enough money. Was giving all of your money not enough for this person? She's dead. Like inside, she's dead inside. She's not emoting whatsoever. I feel it. I'm like, I get you're not crying. You're just frozen. You've iced the world out. It just hurts too much. But it's fun seeing the other family members' reaction to her just staring ahead in space. She's can't muster any emotion whatsoever. Go to the funeral. The grandma's like, why aren't you crying? Don't you care about your son? I'm like, people have different ways of mourning, lady. Jeez, leave her alone. I know all of you guys are mourning, but please understand where she's coming from. It was her son. She is now just dead to the world because all that she has to live for is now gone. Her husband is gone. Now June's gone. How will she freaking live? Before June was gone, she went to a pharmacist. That pharmacist tried to push the Lord, the Jesus Christ, the Bible onto her. She's like, I don't believe in that stuff. Now, at this point, she's just so in despair. She's willing to try anything just to feel anything else other than her pain. And so she goes to this prayer service. We have this guy tagging along with her. She insists on being alone constantly, but then she also lets this guy come along with her only because he insists, to the point where she's just not going to deny it anymore. Fine, you can be with me. Fine, I just wanted to be alone. And she's just crying in church. You know, crying. This is my crying sound. Oh, it's so sad, man. I'm so sad. I just see her crying, and the way that the scene is just focusing on her crying, I'm just like, jeez. I'm so sorry for your loss, man. I'm devastated. I'm as devastated as you are. Obviously not, actually, because I'm not bawling tears, but I'm like really close to tearing up because this is powerful. I feel a lot of emotions right now. But afterward, she feels fine. Oh, Jesus is in me. He's got me. God is looking all over me. He's looking down at me. He's all God's will. God's will, God's way. God did all of this. And she's in the coping stage now where she's going to these social meetings with these ladies. And I'm just like, okay, I'm glad that you're going out. You're going about having a grand old time with ladies your age. Also, she's 39, 40 at this point. She has her 40th birthday during this. I'm like, wow, you're so old. You can't make another kid again. Your eggs are dried up at that point, man, or close to it. Even if you had eggs to make a baby, you would be too old to raise the child. You wouldn't have enough energy to raise the child properly, couldn't keep up with the child. So I feel really bad for her. Her life is just gone and there's no way to bring it back. This movie is really happy again. But I'm like, there's an hour left in this movie. Something bad has got to happen. Well, here's what it is. She falls off the God wagon. And she starts being more resentful. She stops going to church. She stops talking to her friends. She goes to the pharmacy, and it's the husband of the lady friend that recommended her going to church. And she goes to the outside, just in a random field. She wants to have sex with him, but he feels wrong. And so she just leaves, goes to the guy that's next to her the entire time, tries to have sex with him. He gets angry. He's like, what is up with you? And I'm like, what is up with you? There's just so much undertone of despair happening. I just can't take it. It's so sad. Lady, please find a purpose outside of your husband and son. And I know it's easy for me to say I don't experience what you're experiencing right now, but geez, get a grip. I am also on this guy's side who just says, I'm gonna throw his TV on the floor. Get a grip on yourself. She starts crying. She starts running away. And I'm like, oh, please, just be happy, please. Just be happy, please. She goes home. She's eating an apple. She accidentally cuts her wrist. several times, and I'm like, oh jeez, I know you'll be fine. I know you'll be fine, but also, it's sad. It's just so sad that you gotten to this point where you're just trying to feel something, so you have to cut yourself in order to feel something, because all you feel is pain. And I'm like, ugh. You're just rejecting all your Christian friends. You just want everybody to leave you alone. This happens. The pivotal moment from her being super duper cheery and willing to forgive the person that kidnapped and murdered her son is she goes to the prison and confronts this guy. This guy, oh, the God has forgiven me and now I have inner peace. And it seems like that's not what she wanted to hear, because she heard something so terrible to her. She wanted to see him suffer. No. Nope. I'm not gonna allow it. God isn't real, because why would God forgive him before I forgived him? But that's what you went there to do, is to forgive him, but you didn't forgive him, actually. Because you can't forgive this guy, then you're ruining your life. Crash it all down. Do things that God won't want you to do because you can't forgive this guy. I'm like, please, just forgive this guy. I know forgiveness is easy for me to say. I actually do it pretty easily. It's really easy for me to forgive, so I don't at all face what this chick's going through. She's sad. I mean, I also never had anyone kidnap my son and murder them, because I don't have a son for somebody to kidnap and murder. If I was in her position, I feel like I'd probably feeling the same things that she is, the same emotions that she's going through, and it would be equally as hard for me to forgive that man than it is just for me to say that I would forgive that man. So this movie's teaching me empathy. I'm being taught empathy as we speak. I'm just like, oh, I do like how she's a pianist. Very crucial to her identity. She's a pianist, she's a piano teacher, she's a good piano tutor, and she just has to focus in on her work in order to distract herself from the pain that she's in. And so she goes even a little bit more harsher on her students. She was labeled as nice before, now she's just like, you're doing this all wrong. The guy you're tutoring has like the most limp piano fingers ever. Aren't you supposed to do piano fingers like this so your hands just don't like hit the keys by accident? Oh, I'm just gonna No, you're supposed to do piano like this. I would know. I did piano for 4 years, actually. I just haven't done it in a long time. Lady, correct him on his hands, not on his playing. Teach him basic fundamental pianoing. So I guess this is supposed to be showing that she's not focusing on him, but she does just want to expel her anger anywhere it goes, even if it means pushing that anger onto other people and making them feel bad. The end of the movie is her going to the shop owner. The shop owner is like, hey, I fixed the interiors. Your advice was right. I did your advice and now my sales are booming. And then they're just laughing. I'm like, oh, at least you guys can laugh about that. You've helped a lady. Please help yourself. This movie doesn't really have a happy ending. There's no, oh, I'm happy again. I'm happy. No, it doesn't actually end happily. It just ends on her cutting her hair. And that's it. I'm like, okay, so her cutting her hair is supposed to signify that she's getting rid of her baggage and she's starting fresh and new. I guess that could be happy. This movie's up for interpretation with the ending, but I choose to think of it as happy. This movie was a roller coaster of emotions. Oh man, I felt happy and then I felt despair and then happy again, and then I'm like, please save yourself, please. Please, I care about you, please. And everyone's trying to help her and she just wants to be alone. I'm like, please just accept other people's help. The performances of everyone is top notch. It's got me feeling so many emotions. This movie is heavy on the performance part. You got some cool shots, but mostly it focuses on the people. It's very focused people shots. I like this a lot. This is a very heavy movie. You gotta be watching this movie in a good headspace. You gotta be watching this in the bestest of headspace, because once you come out of it, then you're gonna be feeling mid. You'll be like, ah, I'm sad-ish. That's how I felt. I was happy until I watched this movie. Now I'm sad. I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. But it's a great movie. a lot of emotions. If you want to feel emotions, if you want to feel like you're on a roller coaster of emotions, I recommend this movie. I gotta give this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. The platform really likes that. If you want to fast track a movie review, you can do that for $20 redeemos at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you like to help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree, find the way you can help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews. So you can go here. And until next time, mint salad saw, I'll see you later, my sour croutons and bacon bits.